the people hating on weed. Now, before we begin, I am not a doctor, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not even hash brown certified. I'm a potato with opinions and zero peer reviews. So let's proceed responsibly and irresponsibly at the same time. First, let's establish neutrality. I am a potato. I've been fried, baked, mashed, and roasted, turned into chips and emotionally exploited at parties. I do not judge substance. No, people dip me in chemicals daily and call it seasoning. So if anyone should be open minded, it's me. Now, to the haters. You know who you are. You smell something funny, and suddenly you become a detective. You walk outside and go, something's going on here. Yeah, it's cold outside, okay? Weed haters, they always act like they just discovered a fire. They smell it and go, oh, wow, that's definitely illegal. Relax, Officer Nose. Your neighbor's just trying to enjoy a Tuesday without emailing anyone. Weed haters love dramatic phrases. They say things like, it ruins lives, it kills motivation, it's a gateway. A gateway to what? Snacks? Because yes, that part does check out. I'm a fat peanut, or I'm not a peanut. You keep saying I'm a peanut in the comments section. You guys got me brainwashed. I'm a potato. Now let's talk about snacks. We didn't invent snacks. No, snacks invented themselves because food is amazing and humans, they're weak. Have you ever eaten chips sober? Exactly. Don't blame the plant. Blame your lack of crunch discipline. Also, a side note, if weed is a gateway, then potatoes are a gateway too. You start with fries, and the next thing, you're eating loaded nachos at midnight, whispering, I deserve this. No, you don't. But here we are, okay? And weed haters, they always say it makes people lazy. My brother in starch, have you seen a couch? The couch is a real villain. Nobody sits on a couch and thinks, what time to achieve greatness? No, the couch says, stay, melt, become one with the cushions. Couches have a 100% success rate. And let's be honest, lazy people were lazy before we. We didn't invent laziness. Laziness invented sweatpants. That's true, okay? Weed critics also say it makes people forget things. Yeah, like stress. That's the whole point. You call it memory loss. Others call it emotional decluttering. Okay? Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in? That's not the weed. That's a human with a brain running 47 background tabs. Weed haters love comparison logic. They say, would you want your pilot high? Sir, I don't want my pilot hungry. Feed the pilot first, and then we'll discuss lifestyle choices. Also, why is it always a pilot? Nobody ever says, would you want your accountant high? Honestly, I would, yes, because I don't have a lot of money. Because then they might finally explain taxes in a way that makes sense to a freaking potato. Weed haters. They always claim moral high ground, too. They say, I would never touch that stuff. Cool. I would never run a marathon. We all have standards. And some people don't drink coffee. They drink their coffee, 2 energy drinks, and an emotional podcast, and then call weed unnatural. You are vibrating through dimensions, Kevin. Sit down. And let's talk about the smell complaint, okay? Yes, but it smells. So do gyms, and so do fish markets, aka your ex-wife's house. But so does your car after one fast food run. Smell is not a moral argument. If smell determined legality, blue cheese would be in prison. Also, potatoes smell weird when stored too long. Do you see anyone protesting root vegetables? No, because we keep it underground and literally and politically. Weed haters love slippery slope arguments. It starts with weed and ends with chaos. Buddy, it starts with alarm clocks and ends with emails. That's the real slope. And let's discuss productivity. People say weed kills ambition. But have you ever watched someone high try to explain an idea? It's a 45-minute presentation on a thought that begins with, what if birds have meanings? That is innovation. A confusing innovation. Yeah, but innovation. Some of the greatest inventions came from weird thinking. You think normal thinking people invented wireless headphones? No. That was someone who said, what if music was invisible? And weed haters say, it changes your personality. So does coffee. Coffee turns people into courtroom prosecutors. You say good morning to a coffee person and they go, don't. And weed makes people say good morning back. Case closed. So let's talk about fear. A lot of weed hate is just fear of chill. Some people are deeply uncomfortable with relaxation. They see calm and say, stop that immediately. These people schedule fun. They calendar joy. And weed haters attend barbecues with agendas. Another complaint, it makes people unmotivated. Have you ever seen hobbyists while high? They will reorganize the same shelf for 3 hours, perfectly though, and with labels and emotional attachments. Weed doesn't remove motivation, it relocates it to very strange departments. And let's address the classic back in my day. Oh no! History sentence detected. Back in your day, people thought tomatoes were poisonous and doctors recommended cigarettes. Let's maybe relax on the time travel authority. And weed haters say, it lowers IQ. Listen, if intelligence could be lowered that easily, group chats wouldn't exist. Also, I've met very smart people high. They just explain things with too many metaphors. You ask the time and they say, time is a circle wearing a watch. Incorrect, but beautiful. And let's examine hypocrisy. People will judge weed while triple fisting alcohol. Alcohol turns people into philosophers, fighters, and karaoke criminals too in the Midwest. Weed turns people into snack critics, blanket engineers, and documentary watchers. One group starts the fights and the other debates whether clowns have personalities. You tell me which is scarier. Weed haters also assume everyone who uses it is the same. That's like saying everyone who eats potatoes is identical. We are not. Some of us are fries. Some of us are chips. Some of us are emotionally matched. In diversity, it matters. Weed haters love extreme examples. I knew a guy. You always knew a guy. Where is this guy now? Why is he never here to defend himself? Bring the guy. I want to cross-examine him. Also, every anti-weed story starts with, he was a good kid. Yeah. And then he discovered snacks and music. The horror. The horror. And let's discuss, the paranoia. People say weed makes me paranoid. Have you watched the new Sober Perspective? Also, paranoia is just imagination doing cardio. And weed haters, they worry about influence. What about the children? Children think glue smells good. Let's not use them as policy advisors, and kids also eat dirt voluntarily. The debate is over. Thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder, I'm a potato. And don't be offended, because nobody likes a hate. And you call me burnt peanut one more time in the comments section, I'm going to come unglued. I love burnt peanut. But just a reminder, I'm a potato and not a peanut. Bye!